What's up, everybody? Welcome into Sports Extra. I am in just the best mood.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
The Falcons won a game, and I get to be positive here on a Sunday. It is so much fun, and also these two smiling faces, they always bring the positivity. We've got Gabe Burns from the AJC in the house. How's it going this week for you?
It's good. What an honor it is to be here with the main crew.
Wow.
What did I do to deserve
positivity,
that, huh?
baby?
I know. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And the king of positivity over there, Mr. Reggie Chatman, you know him from working here.
Yeah, well, look, guys, as you can tell, no tie. So that means I'm a guest on Sports Extra today. I'm excited to bring that positivity. Let's see how the Falcons do, man. Falcons win changes the whole feeling of the entire city.
Yeah, for a brief moment in time.
We'll take it.
Okay, but we love that it is a brief moment in time. We love the fact that they accomplished their goal that they set out in the beginning of the week. Everybody talked about playing spoiler. That is ultimately the only thing that the Falcons can do conceivably, since they are not going to be playing in the postseason. They want to ruin some chances for other folks, and it starts with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in primetime down there in Tampa. Gabe, how did they pull that off?
Well, where do you even start? It's so rare. It's so rare to see something like this, to see them, successfully playing spoiler. I think, look, Tampa's reeling. That defense is not very good right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, for Kirk Cousins, I mean, it felt like his career's on death row. Now you're going, is he going to be starting somewhere next year again, right? I mean, Kyle Pitts, the team. I'll say this, a lot of people will look at this and they'll go, this probably has more to do with the Bucs being in the state that they're in, and I think that's fair. But I'll also say you have to give the Falcons a lot of credit, because you look at some of these teams like Arizona, some of these teams have just mailed it in, right? Yep. Especially this time of year. And if you're Raheem and you're trying to make a case to keep your job, you're pointing at this effort, you're pointing at these guys that are falling, they're diving for balls, they're making these, and again, you had some good fortune here, a couple fumbles that you managed to fall. There's a lot that goes into it, but the bottom line, given just where this team is just that they're still putting in that effort, that they're still fighting. And that's what Raheem is going to argue when he meets with Arthur Blank after the season. This team did not quit on me. Now there's still a few games left,
Sure.
But I mean that is kind of a lift the spirits type of performance.
I think they caught Tampa at a really good time as well, because when they played them the first time around, totally different team than when they met them on Thursday night. Tampa sliding in the opposite direction of what it seemed like for them at the beginning of the year, Baker Mayfield included in that conversation. So the Falcons take advantage of that, Reggie, and they pull off a win in prime time, something that no one thought that they were going to walk out there and do on Thursday. What was the most impressive aspect about Atlanta's win?
Well, I think it's just the fact that they managed to do it in the way that they did it, right? I mean, they overcame what felt like any and everything going wrong, right? 19 penalties in this game. It felt like it always happened at the most terrible times. They go down by 14 points. They missed two two-point conversions trying to come back in this game, and somehow, some way, they clawed their way all the way back in this game. You're seeing Kirk Cousins, like you said, Gabe, who had really been struggling, just trying to find his rhythm. We saw Kyle Pitts go crazy. I mean, we're talking about all of this, but there were just so many different aspects that had to come together. All the stars had to align for this team to come back from a 14-point deficit, something that, after watching last week against Seattle, felt like an impossibility. They managed to get it done on the road in front of everybody.
Yeah, on a short week, nonetheless. It's crazy. You get blown out by the Seahawks, and then you turn around, and Tampa, who is very much alive in the division race, goes, wait a second, this was the team we watched on Sunday? Because what happened? I thought it was a great win for the Falcons. Wish there would have been a few more of those this season for sure. Yeah. And Reggie mentioned Kyle Pitts. I got a lot of hate from fans. I'm talking to you guys now. I got a lot of hate from you guys because in the offseason I said I had seen something different from Kyle at practice. We know it's a contract year. Players sometimes naturally act a little bit different in a contract year, but it's true. He was operating a little bit differently in training camp. It seemed to me that finally Kyle Pitts is figuring some things out. He got the help of a quarterback that knew how to throw it to him in this moment. A career game for Kyle Pitts. Really, really fun situation for him, especially when you're talking about a player who is staring down the end of his time potentially in Atlanta. This makes a case for him to join another team, and a good one. A hat trick of touchdowns in Tampa. Gabe, what happened to Kyle on this night, and why was he able to pull it off in the way that he did?
It felt like he was always open. It felt like he could do whatever he wanted. This was the player we saw at Florida.
Yep.
This was the player that was torching SEC defenses.
Yeah.
The big thing for him
it looks like he had fun.
Yeah, and he's happy. He's enjoying it. This is, to me, this is proof of concept. If you're when he hits free agency, and assuming that he hits free agency. And
Yeah.
then you have the Chiefs of the world and these type of teams that are going to call him. They're going to look at a performance like that and they're going to go, there's so much untapped potential here
No doubt.
in his entire NFL career. So it's huge for him. It's a real money game.
Yeah.
I mean, he made I think he made a lot of money the other night because whether it's from the Falcons or somebody else, these teams are going to look and they're going to go, we think that we can get more of that out of him.
I'm excited about that for Kyle because I think the worst thing for Kyle Pitts that he ever could have done for himself is play the way he did his rookie season because he showed to everybody he's capable of being this prolific tight end that the Falcons drafted him and made history with. And then that's the expectation. When you said it so early and you struggle later in your career, people are like, wait, go back to what you did your rookie season. And I think last night he even grew a step above what he showed you in his rookie season. Kirk Cousins, he's been very up and down. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities, obviously, this year to start this game. But I knew that Kirk Cousins against Tampa, Reggie.
Yeah.
He loves to play Tampa Bay for whatever reason. Dude broke a franchise record last year, swept them last year. He goes down there and he says, guess what? I still like playing against you guys. How is he so successful against Tampa Bay?
It's crazy. Like, it's unbelievable because you look at it, Kirk Cousins over his time with the Falcons playing against the Buccaneers, he's thrown for 1,100 yards against this one team in like three games, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. He sees the ball really well against this Tampa defense. Todd Bowles has no answer for him for whatever reason, even with a guy down. No Drake London in the lineup. Finds a way to make Kyle Pitts a superstar once again. It was a really, really impressive performance for Kirk. A game that really kind of makes things kind of interesting for me now going forward because you're wondering with Michael Penix Jr. sideline going into next year, you wonder, he's kind of already on the payroll. Do you want to try and go look for an expensive backup quarterback? I mean, if we've seen anything, Phillip Rivers started a game today. They pulled him off of his couch at 44 years old to play football. Who is out there could take over this Falcons organization at the beginning of next year? Do you keep him? Just so many question marks after a performance just like that. Just like with Kyle, where you're like, well, man, maybe we pay him too. You know, it's a bunch of question marks in that regard.
Yeah, very interesting. A lot of people were like, wait a second, why wouldn't you move Kirk to Indianapolis? I'll tell you what, the Falcons don't want to move him anywhere right now. At this point in time, even though playoffs are out of the conversation, you still need someone to play quarterback. And Kirk clearly can do that. And his words last year, I didn't forget how to play quarterback. He did that once again on Thursday. Look, there's a lot of speculation about Raheem Morris's future here in the City game. Do you think Thursday ultimately saved him his job, or do you think, as you were mentioning earlier, there's still some questions to be answered?
There's still a lot of questions to be answered. Yeah. And I know, you know, obviously the organization's going to feel optimistic, and he's yelling at the camera and stuff. You're 5-9, and a lot of stuff has gone wrong. And even, I mean, if that kick misses, you're going, we committed how many penalties?
19.
How did we recovered those fumbles? How did we screw this up?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the margin of the NFL, but that's why I don't want to just sit here and say one result really shifts anything. We're going to see how they finish. Again, his argument, they need to, even if they're not winning, if they're competing, if they're hanging in there in these next few, his argument is going to be, we're not far off, right? Like if you look at some of these overtime losses, obviously the week 1 loss, you missed the game. His argument is going to be, we can keep building on this, some tweaks here, and look, again, we've talked about it before. We're not going to sit here and call for anyone to be fired.
Yeah.
This season was a complete failure.
Yeah.
And Thursday doesn't change that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to wind up being back or not. It's not going to be based on Thursday, but I just know that Thursday he will consider that a feather in his cap when he's trying to make a case to keep his job.
Same thing for you, Reggie. How does it change the way that people should view Raheem Morris's future, if at all?
Well, it's funny because you look on social media, and you know how social media is. It's dramatic as can possibly be, right? There was guys going into that game saying, like, I hope that the Falcons lose this game and get blown out so that Raheem gets fired. And then after the game, he wins this one in this fashion. They're like, Raheem's my guy. So like, we're just in a situation where every single week it feels like you're just kind of reassessing, and I'm sure that the Falcons organization is kind of doing the same thing. You mentioned the Cardinals a little bit earlier. The Cardinals are still on this schedule. They also have the Saints at the end of the year. We're in a situation where he messes around and wins 2 of the next 3 games and comes out of here with the record they'll finish with at the end of the year.
Yeah.
He could keep this job. I think, me personally, with all of the question marks going forward at the quarterback position and what the organization is kind of going to look like going forward, at a certain point, you kind of stay with a guy that is still continuing to build and learn with this team, and then hopefully they all kind of come out eventually on the other side looking a little bit better.
They've got a primetime game left, too. Don't forget, Monday Night Football against the Chargers. So perhaps they show once again nationally that this is a team that does have some hope and promise, especially it's a team that's hodgepodge together. There's been a lot of injuries. There's been a lot of that stuff. So I know that the front office has a lot of very difficult decisions to make here in the coming weeks. I don't think it's happening until after the season, if a change does happen at all. So we will certainly keep our eyes on that.